There are things that have happened in your life that you think are really bad, but maybe they're really good. Sometimes there are things that have happened in our life that we think are really good, but maybe they're really bad. God is the God of heaven and earth. Let him decide what's good and what's bad. Perhaps there is a purpose within a purpose, wheels within wheels here, Philemon, that you might actually instigate something that could impact the entire Roman Empire and influence and inspire a man called Wilberforce to actually dismantle the practice of slavery generations from now. Perhaps something greater than you've ever considered is happening right here with this young man called Onesimus, and I'm sending him back so that you might understand there are purposes way beyond this little event that are going on, that you might receive him in verse 16, no longer as a slave. What a statement to make. Don't take him back as a slave. I know he's run away and stolen from you, but I'm sending him back. He's born again now. Don't receive him just as a slave. More than a slave, a beloved brother. Remember, this letter is being written to the entire church, not just to Philemon. The pastor was not just the one who's to receive runaway slaves, people who should get a branding on their forehead, people who should be whipped 40 times for their misdemeanors, people who've stolen who need to pay back with their entire life. No chance of manumission, no chance of freedom. But he says, Philemon, I'm appealing to you that you receive the broken and the wounded, the runaways, the miscreants, the delinquents, the broken, the flawed, the faulty people. Receive them into your church. Receive them back. And remember, this letter was written to the entire congregation. The house of God is meant to be a house of healing for people who are broken, not a house of judgment for those who have done wrong in life. The house of God is a place where God can heal the sick and raise the dead and bring life into those that are weary and bring hope into those who are despairing. Bring healing into those that are sick. It is a house of mercy and kindness. It's a house of accepting people, not in the state that they ran away, but in a new state, as a brother, no longer as the miscreant, but as somebody who is awesome. That's you and I. God has called us to be these kind of people. And so Paul starts to intercede for him. He says, I want you to receive him as a beloved brother, especially to me, but how much more to you, both in the flesh and in the Lord. And then he dials up this intercession. In verse 17, he says, if you then count me as a partner, receive him as you would me. He's saying, Philemon, if I was coming, you'd paint the house. You'd do up the yard. You'd have a big barbecue going. You'd have all sorts of food on the table. You'd have a great celebration. I want you to do that for this brother. Not just as a brother, but I want you to receive him like an apostle. I want you to receive him like just an ordinary apostle, but like the Apostle Paul. I want you to receive him with dignity and honor and help him on this journey he's going to have to make of getting his life right with God. This is exactly the picture of Jesus Christ here interceding for you and me before the Father. He says, Father, there's a lot of runaway slaves down there, but I'm sending them back. And as they come back into the throne room, as they come back into the house of God, as they come back to walk with you, as they come back from broken humanity, as they come back into out of the world, into the house of God, into the kingdom, I want you to receive them, Lord, not just as my brother, but I want you to receive them, Father, as you would receive me myself into the kingdom of God. Jesus has interceded for you that you would be received in heaven as he is himself, that you might have equal standing and equal seating at the right hand of the throne of God. Don't underestimate what Jesus has done for you and me. He has paid the full price for a full restoration before the throne of God.